Led
Hey,
Farmer
my
73.
Renaissance
I'm
grandma.
going over to Lady Led's channel, and
Hey,
I'm about to get
Tanya's
this grill
townhouse.
popping too. So meet me over
Hey,
here. All
Auntie's
right.
Grandma Cafe.
Peace.
That's right. She is Sunshine. She said, tell Led to hush so
I'm
we
about
can
to hush
start
right now.
learning something
Go.
over here.
The channel is Lady Led. Thank you, TLC in the
Lady
garden.
Led,
Lady
yes.
Led.
Hey, Small Talk. Hey, Auntie Grandma's Cafe. Fancy Oak. Sabrina Suburban Garden. Kathy Young. Dancy. Hey, Crafty Mom, you're here.
Where
Hey,
Crafty Mom been?
Lena. Hey, Moro. Hey, Lisa Washington. Hey, I am Koa. See, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I am Koa. Hey, whole new perspective, my friend. Hello. She is in the house. Hello, everyone that is joining us. So good to see y'all. Thank y'all so much for coming over and joining us. If I didn't get a chance to greet you personally, just know I still love you, and I thank you so much for jumping on and just coming in to see me. Hey, y'all, it's so good. It is so good to hang out with y'all. I have been getting quite a few emails, quite a few people reaching out with questions about real estate, and just so many questions that I felt like I need to go live and just share some info that's going to help you get started. So if you're thinking about buying the title says buying land, but really property in general. So any kind of property, any kind of real estate, whether it's land with a home or just land until you can do otherwise. So thank y'all again for joining me. And will this live be saved? Yes, all the lives. I haven't deleted any lives. So every live I've ever done, you can always go back, come to this channel and see it. So yes. Yes. Thank you, whole new perspective. Hey, my friend, Game Nerd Mom. That's my friend right there. Hello. So, I wanted to spend this live just giving some information, answering some questions, telling you about different things we got going on because it's been so much. Hey, Cheryl Faulkner. Hello, my friend. Hello there. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, TLC in the garden. Thank you for coming on over here. So, the thing about real estate is it seems hard. It's not hard. It's just a lot of pieces, a lot of details. And can you buy land without a real estate agent? Yes. Should you? Is the question. And a lot of people are kind of and I've been asked this question so many times that I'm thinking like people think that you have to pay your agent if you're the buyer. And in some cases, yeah, some agents do charge, but that's not the norm. Normally, when you're working with a real estate agent and you're the buyer, it's not you who pays the real estate agent at the end, it's the person selling the property. So you should be able to work with the real estate agent without them charging you anything up front. Now, what may have happened is the person might have thought it was the real estate agent charging them something, but when you put an offer on a home, you pay what's called earnest money. Maybe they thought that was them paying. You're not paying the agent when you pay earnest money. You're literally paying the seller to hold the property for you. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. So first, if you have any questions, don't hesitate. You can go ahead and put them in the chat. But I just want to give you all some things to think about. Let's talk about land first. And then we can talk about buying homes if that's what you're interested in. Oh, and by the way, if you're joining me today or any day tomorrow, if you're joining me before this Friday, April 28th, yes, at 6 o'clock, I'm hosting a free home buyer seminar. So you can register to join that and get even more of your questions answered. I'm actually going to have somebody who's going to be sharing information about how to increase your credit score. So if you need that, then you need to register for this thing on Friday. If you want to register, go to the description of this video and the link is there. You just put in some information. The reason why you need to register is because it's hosted via Zoom. I can't send you a link if I don't have your email. So you got to put your email in there and just give me a little bit of information. Hey, Trailer Park Gardener. Oh, you are welcome. You are welcome. Hey, Gina versus Gina. Row 1. Yes. Oh, and yes. So with Carla. Hey, so with Carla, yes, it will also be recorded and sent to those who cannot attend live. So if you want to attend the homebuyer seminar that I'm hosting on Friday, in fact, I'll try to get a link. Let me see if I can quickly get a link in the chat for you. But it's also in the description just in case. Trying to type fast. There we go. All right. Oh, hey, he carried me through, my friend. Oh, I'm so glad you are here. You need everything in my brain. Oh, sometimes I feel like I got a bunch of random stuff in my brain, but that nobody cares about. I'm trying to do better with sharing it. 'Cause I just feel like, I don't know. But like, okay, so as far as buying, oh, Shelby, congratulations, buying land as we speak. Awesome. So she may even be able to throw some information in here for y'all as well. So say you want to buy some land, right? And you're ready to get started looking. I would very highly recommend looking at your finances first before you even start looking at Zillow. I know it's like, sometimes you do just want to dream, and I'm all for dreaming. But I'm talking about you're getting ready to reach out to people, and maybe you're getting ready to reach out to a real estate agent, you're getting ready to reach out to a mortgage person, or maybe you just gonna call the owner yourself, which I don't necessarily recommend because, like I said, you probably would want to work with the agent, and this whole live is going to tell you why, right? So you want to have your finances in order. You want to know, where is the money going to come from? Because before, let's say you see some land, it's the perfect land, everything you want. Maybe it already has a septic tank, already has a well, everything, and you want to put an offer on it, and they're asking for $1,000 of earnest money. Well, you don't have it. Maybe you could get your hands on it in a week or 2 weeks. But by the time you do that, that land might be gone. Somebody else may put an offer on it and it's gone. No one is going to hold some land for you just because you like it and it's perfect for you. These people are trying to sell stuff. They're trying to sell it to the first person they can get it to, right? They're not holding anything. In fact, that's what the earnest money is for. The earnest money is for them to take it off the market, accept your offer, and no one else's. Because once they accept your offer, that's a binding contract. They have to sell it to you, if everything else goes right. And same for your end. You now are contractually bound to buy it, unless you've put some type of contingencies in, which you can. You can say, oh, I'll buy this land if I'm able to get a well at a certain price, or I'm able to get a septic tank. It passes certain tests. If I can get electricity, all that. You can put a contingency in there if the inspections show X, Y, and Z. But if that's not the reason you're not going to go through with it is because you can't get the money, they could really take legal action. And it could be enforced that you have to do something, because they could have missed out on an even bigger offer trying to wait for you because you said you was going to buy it and you put this earnest money down. So you don't want to go off doing that without an agent who can make sure you have all the stuff you need in order. And I'm sorry if I'm missing any questions. Um, oh, I see. Cheryl Scott. Any info or tips regarding online auctions about property? I would not buy any property that I haven't physically gone to see. Now, let me say this. They do have properties that are sold. It sounds like it is kind of an auction, okay? So it goes to the highest bidder. I mean, really, that's how houses are bought anyway, right? The highest offer. But I wouldn't get into any of that without an agent that does those types of things, that's familiar with that. Um, and some of those auctions are tax properties, which means you're going to get a tax deed, which means in a year, the person who owned it before you that owed the taxes could technically come pay their taxes and get their property back. And then where you at? You there is nothing you can do, because that's what it is. They're selling it to you, the county or whatever is selling it to you to get the tax money. But because that property still technically belongs to the person, they have some grace periods to reclaim their property. So you want to be careful with that. You want to be careful with getting sometimes they auction properties with just what's called a quick claim deed, which means we don't really know if this person that said they owned it and they sold it to us, we don't really know if they really owned it. We just kind of wanted to get this transaction over with. And then a title search in the future proves somebody else owns it. It's really tricky with that. And that's why I say you want to work with a professional, a agent, a real estate agent who can. Your doorbell is ringing. Your doorbell over here ringing. Um, so that's why you want a realtor who looks at these details and makes sure you're not getting property that you're not going to be able to keep. Okay. And I don't know all the ins and outs of all the types of deeds, but I do know the best one to get is the warranty deed with all your rights. That's the best one. All right, let me see if I missed some more. Okay. Oh, this is a good question. Lazy Hands Farm, cheapest state to buy land in. I've been getting questions about people asking me for recommendations of where can I find the most affordable land. And I have a hard time answering that question because, first of all, you're asking me a question about the entire country. And off the top of my head, I'm going to say states where the population is low. Reason why the population is low is because no one else really wants to live there. And so you got to ask yourself, is that what you just want to move to where land is least expensive? I'm not sure you do. So states like where the population is low, like North Dakota, Montana, Idaho, Iowa, I'm sure I'm missing some. But you get what I'm saying. States where winters might be rough, like really, like, so is that really what you want? Alaska? I don't know. I don't know anything about Alaska. Right? Short bus, short bus mooner. Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, so when you're asking for the cheapest land, um, is that really what you want? And like, yeah. Okay. So I don't have that one answer of which specific place to find the cheapest land. And if you really think about that, land is cheapest wherever no one wants to live. And if you're okay with that, Go for it. Go for it. Black said Jackson, Mississippi. Oh man. Okay. So, other things to think about. Um okay. So, I talked about making sure you got your money. If you're going to do cash, you have to verify that the cash is in a bank account. Like, that's a part of the offer. You have to be able to, after they say, yes, you can buy my property, now show me where your money at. And if you can't do that, you're caving on your end of the deal. Um, Another thing, okay, so let's say you got your money, or let's say you're gonna finance it. If you're gonna finance it, then if you have cash, you're probably gonna need to deposit it into an account and be able to show that the money is available. You cannot show up to closing with cash. You're going to have to probably take it to whoever your closing attorney is going to be. Your closing attorney is the person where the earnest money is going to go, because the real estate agent does not hold your earnest money, just so you know. They don't hold it and take it to the other real estate agent and the real estate agent gives it to the seller. That's not how this works. Everything has to be done legally. So let's say you want to make an offer and you're going to put $1,000 down for your earnest money. I write up your offer with you, and I take your check or your money order, or you can do, I think you can do cash if the attorney accepts cash. Some attorneys don't do cash, but they do bank wire. So here's why you got to be able to have the money in an account somewhere. I take that money to the attorney. They give a receipt and all that stuff, and then they hold it. They send notice to the seller, to the selling agent, and to the seller that it's going to be, that it's there. And then the proceedings go. And that money stays with the closing attorney until closing, until you sign paperwork and it becomes yours. Peaches, like Zelle, not like Zelle. No, like bank wire, like where you got to go to your bank and through the, like, they have a federal wire number, something or other. I can't even remember all those details, but it's like a bank wire, and they literally give you the information where it's supposed to go, what the account number is, and all that stuff. TLR Carol, that is not a dumb question. Your closing attorney is going to tell you what forms of payment. I think for the closing attorney that I usually work with, they only accept cashier's checks up to $10,000. After $10,000, you have to do a bank wire. And then they tell you the account to wire to. It's a different, I don't know if it's an ACH wire transfer or some other. I don't know the full details of it, but it's a serious one where you're not just doing it through, and you wouldn't even want to do it through like Western Union. It's not that type of wire. In fact, if you did it through Western Union, it would probably cost you hundreds, I don't know, thousands of dollars. You wouldn't want to do it through that. The bank fee is much less. It's much less. The land needs to be, Shelby, you must be meaning to say perked. And then, okay, so that perk test thing. Um, a lot of places are getting away from doing what's called a perk test, and you have to have what's called now some type of soil test by a soil engineer. And what that soil engineer does is they check the soil to see, is it the type of soil that can filter, you know, the solids and the liquids that you and your family gonna be letting out. Can it filter it enough before it gets near some groundwater or the nearest water source? So the old school perk test that they used to do, where they would like dig a hole, keep filling it up, uh, those really weren't accurate. And what was happening was a lot of places, water sources were becoming contaminated because of that. So now they want you to make sure you have a certified soil engineer. You have to go to your state's Department of Health to get maybe like a list of those licensed people. You can't just pick somebody that you think, if you're trying to get a permitted septic tank. And if you cannot get a septic tank on your property, you cannot build a home. No kind of home like that is supposed to have people in it. So you gotta make sure you can get a septic tank. And usually you'll be able to. You might have to get an expensive septic tank. So let's see, what else did I miss? Yeah, you want a place where there's a good community, like-minded people, food, sea for fishing, zero crime area, potential holiday glamping. Now that sounds like paradise, really. Um, so yeah, does the warranty deed cover septic tank, wells, mineral water sources? No, your warranty deed, um, that gives you all your rights to your property. In other words, no one can just come and do stuff. But when it comes to like mineral rights, that's something that you have to do like a special search for that. It's uncommon, but back in like the 1800s, early 1900s, when they were like on that, still on that gold rush type stuff, they were having mineral rights sold. So a person could own some land, but they would sell their rights so somebody can come dig up their minerals. They would get like a profit at that time, but the other company would, you know, benefit the most. And then what happened is over time, people just kind of lost track of that. Since mining isn't being done, no one's thinking about their mineral rights. If you want to know if the land you're going to buy has mineral rights, you need to do a special search for that. And again, you would need to talk to your realtor about that. Have them, you know, find a company that can do that type of search. It might, some title search companies may do that, but usually it's just for the title, for title search companies. But that's a separate thing. And then as far as your water rights, you have a right, if there's water on your property, to use it. Now, you don't have a right to just do whatever, because you can't impede somebody else's rights who might be down the river, down the stream, or whatever from you. You can't just think about that. You wouldn't want somebody dumping chemicals into water that you're trying to enjoy. Though those are the types of rights, though. You have a right to use it um, in a way that's fair to everybody. What other? As far as like your timber, some of those rights have been sold. So that's something you'll want to have checked. Did the timber rights get sold on your property before you bought it? And a lot of times when those rights are sold, it's very difficult to get them back. You definitely have to work with a lawyer to get all that worked out. What else? Um, any info on bank repo mobile homes? No, I don't personally have that information. That's something that's so specialized. You'll want to do a search in your area for that. All right. Only buy with the clause that mineral rights are to be conveyed. Okay. Yeah. Try to keep as many of your rights as you can. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Other things to think about. And yes, it is a lot of details. Yes. Um, it's so much. I mean, I can't talk about it all in one sitting. Obviously, that's part of the reason why I do regular seminars. But but yeah, like it's so much that goes to it. But that's why you don't want to do it alone. You want to do it with an agent. Um, a lot of times, if you don't do it with the agent, the seller agent, they are going to they see you don't have a agent, so they're going to try to be your agent. It's called dual agency, but that allows them to keep the full commission. So guess what? They're supposed to represent the seller's best interest, because that's who signed them on at first. They're not necessarily going to be able to represent your best interest, right? So maybe it would be in your best interest to buy the house or buy the land at 50,000, but it's in the seller's best interest to sell it at 60,000. What you think? So there is going to be no negotiation for you, and you might miss out on things like getting the seller to pay closing costs. It's kind of rare these days with market is for seller to pay closing costs, but some circumstances the real estate agent could negotiate that for you. Knowing how to find information like, hey, do this property got back taxes? Because guess what? They gon' make you pay them if you buy this land and the taxes ain't been paid. Do you want to do that? Like, pay the seller's tax? That might happen to you if you're working alone and you don't have an agent. And there's so many different scenarios that if you're not working with an agent, you're not even going to know some of this stuff exists. I can't even think of all of it, but it's so many things that it's in your best interest to have somebody to help you. Oh, and here's the other part. Having someone else go with you to look at this land. Um, you're going to be walking on somebody else's property. And yeah, the seller, if you call him directly, he may give you permission to walk on the property. But technically, wouldn't you rather be there with somebody who legally can say, "Hey, I am representing this client. We are here. We have permission to be here for this purpose." Just some stuff to think about. All right, I'm sorry. Oh, hey there. I missed my friend. A beautiful Ness. Hey, it's been a minute. Good to see you. For buying land, do you have to use the same credit criteria as when buying a house? Great question. It's different. In fact, the lenders tend to be different. Lenders who focus on doing mortgages for homes don't often do mortgages for land. In fact, so like the lender that I like to work with a lot has no programs at all for buying land. She was going to give me a recommendation. And then the one that I found that typically works with agricultural land and farms and rural lands, there were differences in the terms of the loan. So instead of having 30 years to pay this loan off, I only have 15 or 20. Well, what difference does that make? It makes a difference in your payment. If you got 30 years to pay something off, the payment is going to be less than if you only have 20. The other major thing was the down payment. So for land, to get the loan, the down payment was between anywhere between 10 and I want to say 20% down. Okay, that may not sound like a lot, but if the land is $100,000 and you got to put down 20%, do you have $20,000? Like just laying around? I'm just saying. These are things that You know, whereas if you're buying a home, you might get down payment assistance and have zero down payment. Or you might only have 3%. 3% versus 10 and 20%, that's a huge difference. So, yes, the financing process is different. The reason, I mean, it should be kind of, you have more collateral with a home on the property. So, in other words, that lender has uh more security for getting their money back than is some land. It ain't got nothing on it. um, it's valuable to us, but they like, it ain't valuable to us. It's not helping us get our stuff back. So just stuff to think about. And thank you all who said you didn't know I had a channel. I appreciate you for coming over. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm missing questions. Somebody said Game Nerd. Mom had a good question, but I don't see it. Let me see if I can find it. Oh dear. I can't. Let me look. Maybe I went too far up.
Let me see.
Trying to find her question. I can't.
Game Nerd Mom?
Yeah, somebody said she had a good question, but I don't see it. And Rios family.
Rios.
I see two questions before that.
I got the grill going, so.
Oh, good. Cynthia says, can you find out about water rights through the tax office? I don't think not about water rights per se. You can find out about taxes. You can't find out if it's being leased. You're not going to really find that information because the only information, if you went through the tax office, you'd be able to find is the owner. And there's no way for you to know if it's been leased unless it's some type of publicly recorded lease, which is
Game Nerd Mom says, what is one of the first things you need to start doing to purchase a home?
Oh yeah, that's a wonderful question. You need to know how much money you have for your down payment. You need to know if you don't have cash to buy it outright, is your credit good enough to get a mortgage? The only way, and I know it's so many ways to get your credit score, Credit Karma, all these different credit card places, but it's not accurate. The credit score that the lender pulls is the one that they make the decision off of. I don't know exactly what number, where they all the full information of that, because I'm not a lender. I'm a real estate agent. I'm not a mortgage lender. Okay, so the only way you're gonna know how much of a loan you can get is find a lender and fill out an application with them, allow them to pull your credit, and find out what your score is, find out how much they say, let's say with your credit score, you can get this particular interest rate up to this much amount of money. And the amount of money is not random. Let's say you wanna buy a $300,000 house, but it's gonna depend on your own debt to income ratio. So how much debt you already have, how much money is going out versus how much is coming in. That's what determines that. So you will only know that if you get with a lender. And here's some things. Don't give your information out to people who call you. You need to find a reputable company and you call them. If you're not sure where to start with a bank, a credit union, somewhere where you know this is a real place. They got real people following real laws and rules, and they're not going to steal my identity. So you have to really start with your money. If you don't start with your money, you're going to be disappointed because you might find the perfect house.
Okay, I got one.
and can't qualify.
I want to say hello to everybody because everybody is saying hey to you. Hey, J3GS Farms, Miss Electra, Lee Mack, thank you. Yes, you heard me scrubbing the grill in the back. I'm blowing smoke signals over there. Um, the question was, what about if they have a lien on the property?
You cannot, okay, if you are getting a loan, you cannot buy a property that has a lien on it because the mortgage is trying to put the lien on the property. You can't,
That,
okay.
that property. So.
Now, if it has a lien, it has to be paid by somebody. If not the person that's selling it, you then, I guess.
If you want that property
If you
back,
want it. Now, in some cases, like tax liens, that might be worth it, but you got to remember about the and this could be something that you need to check with your local. Let me give you this disclaimer. No matter what I'm saying, check with the local regulations, whether it's your city, your county, your state. Some states, some counties say the person has a year to come back and pay this tax lien off. And if they do, you got to give them their house back. If you're okay with that risk, go forth. Go forth. Um, yeah, Lady T, the seller is supposed to pay the lien, but obviously if the seller was able to pay it, wouldn't have it like impeding the purchase. Now, here's the thing. When people are selling their home and they have a mortgage, they have a lien, right? But the thing about it is the lien is going to get paid off when they sell the home. Okay, so yes, they have a lien, but if the lien isn't getting paid off at closing, somebody else got to pay it in order for it to happen. And your loan, your mortgage person, your mortgage lender is not going to allow you to purchase a home that has some additional lien that's outside of the typical things. Um, Now, if you're buying cash, you got leeway. You can say, I'm all right with that. You could assume, like if you some in some cases people are able to assume the mortgage that the seller had. It's able to transfer from the seller to the buyer, but that is not a typical thing that happens all across the board. And you still got to qualify credit wise, so that's not a easy thing to have happen. Ugh, trying to get to the rest of this. What advice could I give a single person who already owns a house, not outright, still owns a house, but wants to downsize? You can, if you already own a home, and that's a wonderful question. You can sell it. At any point. Let's say you buy a house, you still owe $190,000 on it. You buy a house, and a year later, you owe, I don't know, by then maybe 180,000. You can sell your home. Obviously, you got to sell it for more than what you owe if you're planning on, you know, covering the mortgage lien. And that you cannot, like I said, you cannot be. They won't let you sell stuff like that. So, but you can sell. That's an option, and you can use, if especially if you make a profit, you can use your profit to buy some land.
What states are you licensed in?
I am licensed in South Carolina and Georgia. If you want me personally to be your agent, you'd have to be buying in those states. You don't have to live in those states, but you have to be buying property in these states. If you want to buy property in some other state, then and you want me to assist, the only way I can assist is I can maybe find someone where you are and we can kind of partner. They can kind of keep me in the loop of what's going on, but I can't personally show up at your closing and represent you as your real estate agent unless you're buying in South Carolina or Georgia.
Um, Here's a good one. Which one do they pull your credit record from? Equifax, TransUnion, or Experian?
I don't know.
It
It's
will.
the lender. It's
Right.
the lender's choice where they pull that information from.
That sounds like dog food.
Dog food.
Lender's choice. I don't know. Maybe I'm just tripping.
Mortgagers.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm
Mortgagers.
hungry, so now I'm thinking.
Oh man.
Okay.
Um. Yes. Okay. So Shelby Meadows sold her house in Florida, bought in GA, hasn't gotten to the point of buying more land yet. Okay. Yeah, and that's the beauty of buying property. You can buy it, preferably when you buy it at a lower cost than what you're going to sell it for. Usually when you buy property, it increases in value over time. Now, how much value, I can't tell you that. I don't know. It depends on what you do to the property. Obviously, every time you add an improvement, the value goes up. You know, property with well versus property without a well. Which one is going to be worth more? The one with the well, the one with the septic tank, the one in a good location. And speaking of location, especially those who were asking about where's the most affordable land, usually in places where there's not anything. And you got to keep that in mind. Are you okay with not living by a hospital? We was watching what's the name of the show?
Alaska.
But it's called Life Below Zero.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
guy smashed his finger
No,
to the
he cut.
point,
No, he cut that boy
cut the
off,
tip of his finger off, and couldn't get to the hospital because of weather.
and it was 50 miles away, 60 miles away.
And if he could have got there, he had to go through helicopter, not ambulance. Think about the price of that trip. We'd be mad about the ambulance bill. The helicopter bill? I don't know.
And being from the medical field, I do know one thing: the longer that tip of your finger is off, the less chance you got getting it put back on.
And guess what he ended up having to do? he had to he had to get his own little meds and
Finish cutting it the rest of it off. He had to
I'm
cut the
sorry,
rest
it
of
was
his
so
finger
gross.
off.
I couldn't really look. He had to take care of his own medical needs. I don't know about you, but I probably would have first puked, fainted, might have had a heart attack, and then died
And then
over my finger
what?
falling off.
Here's the part that nobody thinks about is, yeah, you might be all hardcore Rambo style and everything. Let me scoot over here a little closer to you, baby. Rambo
Yes.
style and everything. You ain't don't mess with that crazy thing. Don't mess with that. You know that tripod is
Yeah, there you go.
yeah.
Hey, Electra. Hey, my friend.
Listen, I know everybody think they Rambo when they come out here and everything, but I'm telling you right now, that ain't the case. You could still have your freaking finger if you have the supplies, have your medical kits on standby, know how to use them, or you're close enough to a hospital and know the procedures to get yourself to a hospital. It was his finger. It could have been his whole hand.
And I think he was right-handed. It happened to be his left hand.
Right.
Like, I think he would have been in even worse trouble if it was opposite hands. You got to think about that part. Um, and here's the other thing. And always mention hospitals first, because a lot of times people, and I get it, like, that's not the first thing you're thinking about when you're thinking about this exciting process of buying land. You know, where's the nearest hospital? But if you're over, I'm gonna say 40, because I'm over 40 and I feel like I need to be
You
able
old,
to
girl.
get to the
You
hospital
old, girl.
when, if an emergency happens, everything starts moving in slow motion, right? But you only have minutes when somebody's life is on the line. You only have minutes. Minutes can make the difference between life and death, or life very compromised. You know what I'm saying? Like if you, let's say you have a stroke or something, whereas if you had got to the hospital at a certain amount of time, they could have did a surgery, they could have removed the blockage, that part of your brain wouldn't die, versus now that part is gone and you're paralyzed for the rest of your life. Like that kind of stuff. So to me, hospitals are serious. And you know, are you in enough physical shape to be somewhere like that without a hospital? Other things to think about, and I know we can stock up. I don't have a problem with stocking up, but how well can you do with not being able to get to a grocery store? Like, how long can you go without that? Those are things to think about. The roads, if it's weather, if it rains, if it snows, is your place inaccessible to anything? Are you just going to be trapped there? No one can get to you, you can't get to them. Are you okay with that? In some scenarios, you'd rather that, right? But yeah. Hey, Gigi's Natural. Hey there. All right, so let's see. Somebody asked, um, what's a baseline credit score? Um, Also, FHA loans, are they worth it? So a lot of lenders I've heard, when they tell me about the credit score that they're looking for, in most recent times, and this changes. So let me put that out there. It changes. The way the market goes, things, some stuff just changed recently, right? So I've heard 640 can get you qualified. Will it get you qualified for the best rate? Probably not, but it'll get you qualified. Will it get you qualified for no down payment? I don't know. Okay, I'm like I said, I'm not the lender, right? Um, and as far as FHA, to me, any any loan that has a lower interest rate is a good loan, right? Unless it has some other type of hidden fees. And that's something that you'd have to talk to a lender about, because I'm not that. I don't have that type of information. I send my clients to lenders for all of that. So yeah. Hey, Andale. Hey, Lori, my friend. Hello. What's the price per acre? Um, okay, so the price per acre, that's not a real accurate. I can give you a range, right? But it's not accurate. It depends on where it's at. It depends on what's on the land. Is it cleared land? Is it woods? You know? So I've been seeing land here anywhere from, I'm gonna say, about 7 to 15,000 an acre. That's a huge range, right? The obviously the more land you buy, you'll get more close to that 7,000. But and 7,000 is me being really like liberal. I haven't seen any today at that price, but still. So yeah, and buying 1 acre of land, you're probably gonna pay around the 15 or higher, depending on where it's at. Because usually 1 acre of land is gonna be in an established subdivision where they expect you to build a house just like the rest of these. So yeah, that land is gonna be more. So it all depends. It all depends. Lady T, that's a good question. If you're self employed, is it harder to buy property? Not if you have good financial records and you can show proof of income. It's all about, can you show where your money is coming from? Can you show that there's a steady flow into your accounts? Can you show that all your bills are paid, your credit is good? Um, yeah, that isn't a barrier. It's how you're getting paid. That could be like if you're getting paid cash and you don't have record of that. Um, if you're not able to show like sales receipts and stuff, I don't even know who still just gets paid through cash, but I don't know. But being self-employed is not an issue, especially if you have tax records. You have to show that on your taxes. So let's see. Should your title insurance be considered? Hey, Sabrina Suburban Garden. Um, just paid off the mortgage and keep seeing programs saying how important it is. Okay, so title, let me just tell you what it does, and then you can decide if you need that. So title insurance says, it's offered from the title search company. Title search company, They do the search to see, can they trace the chain of ownership and show that it has been clearly sold to this person, from this person, to this person, from this person, on down the line, right? And the title insurance is there to say, if there was some mistake that wasn't caught, that they will pay something to help it be remedied. Um, I've seen videos where someone had an issue with an easement that their title search should have revealed. And so what that particular company ended up doing was buying this small piece of land from the owner, the other owner of the easement area. And to me, that was fair, because now ain't no more problems with this easement. And the person didn't come out of pocket to buy it. The title search company paid for it through their insurance. It's just like any other insurance. Um, just because you're paying it doesn't mean you're gonna benefit from it. It's for risk, right? Like you pay your car insurance. Well, you pay your car insurance probably because you have to, because your state probably mandates it. But okay, you don't have to have comprehensive in case you get in an accident and they don't have insurance. You want your car to be paid. That's not mandated, right? But you get the comprehensive because you're like, you know what, if I ever get in a situation where the person can't pay for my stuff to get fixed, or this happens or that happens, you're paying to be protected, to mitigate the risk. So that's the question. Do you want to reduce your risk? I mean, it just depends on how you feel about that. It's kind of like you know, all the other insurances, the phone insurance. If I break my phone, do I want them to be replacing it or me? But guess what? I've been paying this phone insurance. I ain't broke my phone. I didn't lose my phone. They ain't gonna buy me no new one though. It's just money that I'm paying out to reduce the risk. So, hey, African Dreaming. What am I doing up this late? Y'all, it's early. You mean, what am I doing on YouTube? That's probably a better question. I actually haven't been on in a while, and I just have been getting a lot of questions about land, and I realized I haven't talked about that. Let me get on here and share some information. Lady Dagger Status says, is it easier to get a loan for residential land or a home? Definitely easier to get a loan for a home. And I talked about that earlier in this video, because the home allows, provides for more collateral for the mortgage lender, whereas land does not. So definitely easier. Also has a lower down payment, better terms. Is it wise to get a mortgage or rent? So renting, 100% of your money is going to someone else. Ain't no refunds on rent. 100% of your money is going to someone else. If you have a mortgage, as you pay your loan down, the equity becomes an asset to you. In other words, it's reducing the price of your home, while at the same time the value of your home is increasing. So some of the money is coming back to you, is basically what I'm saying, when you purchase land, whether you purchase it cash or through a mortgage. So people have been complaining about these interest rates. I've seen them as high as like 8%, which historically isn't the highest interest rate. I think back in the 70s, it was like 14%. But guess what? It's 8%. 8% of your money is going to someone else. 100% of your rent money is going to someone else. 8%, 100%. And guess what? This 8%, this this interest rate can go down, and then you can refinance to a lower interest rate. Now, refinancing is not automatic, so let me make sure you understand, just because the rates go down. Let's say you get an 8% interest rate and then next year it's down to 5. Your interest rate doesn't automatically go down to 5. You have to refinance in order for that to happen. In order to refinance, you have to keep your credit good even as you own the home. So that's something to think about. You don't want to just let your credit go. I got my house now, I don't care. Forget these bills. No. No, no, no. All right. So, what are the interest rates for raw land? They're about the same. It's it actually, it might be higher. I'm not a lender. I gave y'all that disclosure already. I'm not a lender. All right. Hey, Miss Native Cherokee. Hey there. Anybody else that I missed? Oh, Tanya's Townhouse Garden has a great question. How young? How should a young person with no established credit begin? Okay. Everybody in here, if you have kids, teenagers, and you have good credit, you've got credit cards, you have an option of adding them as an authorized user. When you add them as an authorized user, it starts building their credit. But don't just do this willy-nilly. Don't give them the card, and don't you start slipping on paying your bills and mess them up. But that's a way you can start getting their credit established before they get their own credit established, right? Especially if you know they're not quite ready to be getting credit cards. The next thing is to actually get them a credit card. Not so they can go shopping and buying tennis shoes and clothes, but just so they can go maybe buy some gas, pay the bill off the next month, and just keep doing that same thing. They might have to start with the secured credit card, which means be ready to put $200 down. It's still their $200. It's like kind of like a bank account if you think of it that way. Um, get their credit established that way with credit cards, so that when it's time for them to try to go, they have something already established. To me, that's like the quick and easiest way to get that. And like I was saying, if you weren't here at the beginning, I'm going to be doing a home buyer seminar this Friday, April 28th at 6 o'clock. I'm going to have a debt management professional there who's going to be talking about how to increase your credit. So if you need that information, look in the description and you can register. It's free, and you can join us on Friday via Zoom. It's via Zoom, so that's why we need you to register so we can send you the link.
Deborah Smith says, can you buy land as a first-time buyer and use the sources as a first-time buyer? Use these sources as a first-time buyer.
Can you buy land? What sources are you talking about? Because I don't know. But you can buy land. You don't have to be a second. You can buy land. That can be your first land piece of property that you buy. Um, it doesn't matter how you could, as long as your credit score and your financials, like your debt to income ratio, supports the price that you want to pay, then first time, second time, 25th time, it doesn't matter. Now, tax wise, if you own a home and then you're going to have a second home, you don't get that primary tax break, primary residence tax break on your second home or your second piece of land. But yeah, you can still do it.
Louisiana RX says it used to be 30% down for land with a lender. They're asking
It depends on the lender. It depends on the lender. Some
It de-
May be asking for 15, some 20, some may still be 30.
the lender and your credit record, all of that,
Hmm? What?
huh?
Oh man, what?
I don't know.
What? All right, I think I gave y'all enough to think about when buying land. Okay, for today. So we're gonna get ready to get out of here. I'm gonna recap your money. Make sure your money is in order first. Make sure that's in order first.
That. Mm, 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 mm.
What?
I was just gonna say that's what I was trying to tell them. Everybody is so busy trying to get their money in order when they're 60 and 70 years old, but if they work on getting their money together now, purchase a piece of property, they can
Yeah.
buy into their own
So
retirement and not have to wait till you.
right. So what I mean by get your money together, get your money rounded up. Whether you're borrowing from your 401k, taking it out completely, uh what else? Selling something, saving. But you got to have your money. You got to have your money to put that earnest money down. You got to have money for the down payment, and you need to be able to afford, if you're not buying it cash, you need to be able to afford the payment. What does that mean? Maybe I'm not going to be eating out this month, next 6 months. Maybe I'm not shopping like I normally do. Maybe because a lot of times we think we don't have the money, but if you eat out just once a week, I'm telling you, that's $50 at the minimum a week. What is that? $200 a month. 10 months, that's $2,000. That could have been a down payment. Just stuff like that. Um, Second thing to think about is just all the local rules, all the local things that apply. So like, oh, I didn't talk about some places you can't just do what you want to do just because it's rural. You know, there are restrictions. You can't build your own home. Has to be built by a certified contractor. Stuff like that. Those are things that a real estate agent can help you find out. And that's why you don't necessarily want to do this without a real estate agent.
Game Nerd Mom says, do you know how far back work history they ask for?
Most places it's a year, others it might be 2 years. But again, I'm not a lender. So they would be the one to be able to tell you for sure.
You see that, Gigi? I'm like, if I if y'all see me
Yeah, you
making the
need some
poop faces,
glasses.
cause I can't see nothing.
Yeah. Lady T, yeah, that Amazon. Oh my goodness. Here's a challenge. Go check your 2022 Amazon total.
You'll puke.
Go add all that up.
You'll puke.
If that ain't a down payment, and then you got to even ask yourself, what did I even buy?
African dreaming in the
What?
house.
What?
Yeah. I'ma say this.
60 is not too late. Actually,
What
no time is too late if you are open to taking whatever the steps are that you need to take.
what is that age?
Yeah, Robin says she's 60. Is it? I'm already 60. Too late.
Okay,
It's
I'ma
not
say.
too late
Can I
ever.
can I dip in? I'ma say this about age. If you think it's too late, and your age is a factor of why, like, I'm 60, why go back and do this now? You got family members. We can't keep thinking about ourselves. Remember, I told you stop thinking about that programming. They got us programmed. They got us programmed to think, okay, I'm 60. I done did me. It's on me. It's all about me. It's not. We have lineage to keep thinking about. Listen, I just turned 50 this week, and I'm telling you this. Really, if you really truly think about it, 50, should I be starting this at 50? I gotta build my family a whole empire from scratch with my bad back. But I'm gonna tell you this. It may be a little late in the game for me. For me, Not her. She gonna live. She gonna be like a mummy. She gonna be like a sexy
A
mummy. A
mummy?
sexy mummy
Wait,
though.
but mummies aren't alive.
But have you ever seen a sexy mummy?
No.
They some of them look alive. They're so
Oh,
sexy.
here we go.
We ain't gonna get on that. But what I'm telling you is, we gotta start thinking about our next group. Who's coming after us? Me, I feel like this. Let's be honest, okay? I'm pretty much finished as far as I won't reach the greatest that I could possibly reach at this age. But my son and my daughter and my other son will. My grandchildren will have that head start. They are me. That's how I look at it. I know people don't see it that way, but when people talk about living forever, my children are me. So I'm still alive as long as they keep pumping them out. That's part of me. So I get to live through them. I get to give them that head start in life that this system ain't trying to let you get. They don't want you to have no head start at this. So, you know,
But really
sexy
though,
mummy.
that's the I mean, thinking about my grandkids one day having a head start with this land, that's what motivates me.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, even like if my kids wanted to live here, like allowing them to have an easier way to live. That's what motivates
we got
me.
them something. We got all three of them
Yeah,
carved out something
I already got their stuff picked out.
way
If
on the
they don't
other
want it, it's for their kids.
on the whole other end of our land. Is way out there somewhere. I got 3 plots for my babies. 3. 2 for my 2 boys and 1 for my daughter. And they can do with it as they please. Because we got enough land where I can't even deal with this clearing. I gotta cut this grass. This is about 1.5 acres of clearing. And this, woo,
Cold out here.
woo. So,
But yeah, it's not too late. And now what that means is you have to have different priorities about how you do things. What are you gonna do? Like, obviously maybe you're not building from, well, I mean, you're not gonna be doing that anyway unless you're in one of those states that still allow you to build your own house. But maybe you just start small at first.
okay, I got one. Can you explain the difference, or did you want to say this in the meetup? Can you explain the difference in earnest money, due diligence money?
Earnest money is the money that you have when you make your offer and you say, I want to buy this property and I'm putting this amount down as earnest money. That is money that's going to go towards your closing costs. It's money that allows them to take the property off the market and accept your offer.
Thank you guys for putting the link in the chat. Thank
you,
Gigi.
thank you. Due diligence money is your inspections. Whatever inspections, if you're buying a house, HVAC inspection, the general inspection, plumbing inspection, termite inspection, all of that.
Yes.
With buying land, it's getting a professional to come, a professional certified soil person, a person to tell you about your well,
what
tell
did
you
they
about
call
electric.
that guy? He wasn't a perked as a soil
engineer.
Soil engineer. Let me tell you
Certified
something.
soil engineer.
Let me tell you something about that. And all the other things that we had done to our land. Now, at first, I wasn't gonna do it. I was like, man, no, that's money down the drain we could be using on something else. I'm going to tell you this true story. I'm so glad that we just went. Look, I could have had all kind of stuff done by now. I could have had my land cleared by now with all this junk. If I would have took that money and had all this junk cleared and everything else, I could have had it done. But we spent that money on having the land tested, title searches, all that stuff. And I'm going to tell you what we found out. I was going to do all of that myself, like a dummy. I don't know how to
do that by yourself.
You don't know how to judge the soil yourself. I don't care how good you love to collect rocks and shells on the beach Okay? Because some of us, like, I've been collecting shells since I was 6 years old, and I know all the conch shells. But look, don't, nope,
Don't do it.
no.
Yeah.
Because when you watch, that man let us stand there and watch him, that soil engineer, do the perk test, well, whatever you call it, around the land. And we walked all around this land all day while he dig a hole, deep holes, and pulling out feet of sediment and sands and was telling us things about the sand. All I saw was, man, that my garden gonna be banging, son.
Yeah.
But he was like, oh, this is a perfect spot, or this spot is stupid, this spot is wrong, this not this spot. I kept
Yeah.
wondering because the soil looked great to me for blueberries, right? And asparagus. And I'm like, oh, my apples gonna go off, son. My apples about to go off.
Mm-hmm.
But no, no, no,
It's
no,
great
no.
for that, but is it great for a septic tank?
Your soil may be great for your garden, but for a septic tank, this is bad news.
Yeah.
For your well, this is bad
Yeah.
news.
And even though you see videos of people digging their own well, you need to check your local regulations. You have to get a permit, even if you do it yourself.
Now, spoiler alert, we are about to start digging our own well, but not our permanent well.
But we still got to get a permit.
We got to get a permit, and we're going to be digging our well. Just, the one you can get 24 feet, that's as far as you can go. But do not try to dig further than 24 feet yourself. Get the permit to dig your well, but anything besides
Thank
that,
you, Be Rich.
thank you, Be Rich. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Please get a professional. Gigi and Eco got professionals.
Yeah.
They wasn't guessing around all day and fumbling in the night. They got the
Oh, let me
professional.
tell you, if you don't follow the rules, because you got to understand, it's about water quality
Oh yeah.
in your area.
Tell
You
'em.
will get fined, and I've seen fines of like 5,000 a day if they come and see you have an improperly installed well, because the whole area's water is at stake. If you can't get a proper septic tank, you cannot build a house, because you're literally putting the whole everybody near you, the whole
Yes.
county, state water supply at
In
stake.
jeopardy. Now, you might imagine this, just so you understand how this works. Say you do know what you're doing, YouTube University. You drill your well down 100 or 200 feet, whatever it is, right? But you love your dog. You love your pet weasel or whatever people like to do. That dog might start pooping around that well because you did not, even though you learned how to dig the well, you didn't know how to seal the well. And that's something people don't know. I'm researching it, but listen, family, you don't know what you're doing. You still have to, once you dig the well and you actually strike water in a water vein, you have to turn around and seal the well, because if bugs get down there, mice, weasels, possums, muskrats,
Mm-hmm.
raccoons, anything can get down, snakes, and
Mm-hmm.
it go down there and die or start pooping or start living. E. coli. Now
Yeah.
you just gave everybody in a damn 50-mile radius E. coli. You know what they're gonna have to do? Shut that well system down. Find the source, which is you. You're gonna get fined, if not jailed. And then they got to um, um, purify that water. You just ruined everything for everybody in your whole township
Yeah.
trying to save 50 bucks.
Yeah.
It's not
So
worth it.
that's the
It's
stuff
not worth it.
that's serious, and that you wouldn't know if you're not working with a professional.
And
And
see, people don't even think of
the
that.
old school perk test is not standard anymore. Pouring water in a hole and seeing how long that doesn't work anymore. They're discovering that way they could fake it, and people was getting septic tanks that's been jacking up water everywhere.
And here's another one. Here's another one. If you dig your own septic tank, in our case, we have water on our land. If you dig your own septic tank and you put that septic tank in the wrong spot, you got two problems.
Mm.
You just contaminated your natural springs, your running rivers or brooks or creeks. You also just contaminated the well water. What do you think a septic tank is, and how do you think a septic tank works? I need people to know it's not just a big old drum where poop goes. I need people
Yeah.
to know,
Yeah.
listen, research
Yeah.
how that septic tank
And
works.
here's the other part.
Poop.
Because I know we see, and somebody just mentioned, people are in love with living like it's 1623. We see people on YouTube, we see them building their own homes, we see them building their own wells and septic tanks, and we see them doing whatever they feel like, but we don't know where they at. And if you're not willing to check what the local regulations are, you will be highly disappointed, because in a lot of places, a lot of counties, you cannot build your own home.
Yes. Thank you.
So
Thank
that
you.
you're going to be living in. You can
Thank you.
build you a shed that you're storing some stuff, and you can't do it without proper inspections. And let's say you do it, you build it right. If you ain't never built a house before, how do you even know what a load bearing wall is supposed to do, how far apart it's supposed to
Right.
be? You're putting your life at risk. That's the whole point. You
Right.
don't want a house to fall
Right.
on you.
And if you don't know, if you don't have the right engineers to even check the land of where you're building your land or building your home at, you will turn around and build a whole home on either a flood zone,
That
or turn
too.
around and build your home on something that's uneven, or there is a water pocket under there. Your well should have been there, but not your home. You might have built that home on
Yeah.
a whole big water cave.
Yeah.
You gotta let them do some stuff, family.
If it put like this, if you know where they live and you willing to go live in those places, 9 times out of 10 you're not. That's what we was talking
Yeah.
about at the beginning. Where is the cheapest land? The place nobody wants to live. Do you want to live there?
No. That's the thing. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm sorry, honey, because I know this your thing. I just want to tap on something that I talked about the other day. Reality. Reality. Everybody want to go buy land, raw land, and you have zero maintenance skills. You have zero skills. You've never picked up a hammer. You don't know how to read a ruler. You don't know how to read a leveler. You don't know how to level anything. You don't know how to build. You have no carpentry skills, plumbing skills, electrical skills whatsoever. But you go out and buy land and say, I'm going to build me a house. The thing is, family, with all of this, I don't want you to lie to yourself, but I also want you
Or put yourself in
put
danger for
yourself
no
in danger.
reason.
I want you to say, I don't got carpentry skills. I don't got these skills. I don't got those skills. So what should you do first? Maybe you want to buy a camper. Maybe you want to buy an RV first. Maybe you want to put a tent there first. Check with your local regulations, because
You
you might
gotta,
not be able to do
I
it.
was about to say, all of that is subject to local regulations. And people just think because it's outside the city that means it's rural, and rural means anything goes. No,
Right.
that's not the case. You have to find out, even if you don't live in an incorporated city, you got to check with the county. If the county doesn't have a regulation about it, you got to check with the state. You can't just do what you want to do.
And see, if you end up, this is the part of the reality that I need you to know. If you do say, listen, I'm going for the gusto, son, and you do want to move out where no hospitals, no stores, no nothing, you want to be out in the middle of nowhere, you also need to know something else. The further you are away from the system and humanity, animals live there. The kind that bites you like, okay?
We done already had some run-ins with those.
We done already had some run-ins. And I'm trying to tell you, the farther out you live, y'all see that I accidentally put that thing in the camera. I didn't want it in the camera, but I'm telling you, she right here next to me. Man, look, do you understand? We ain't by no
Yeah, like
stores.
my ears is constantly tuned to these sounds I'm hearing. I'm hearing birds still chirping, so I'm kind of like, okay, I'm hearing birds. But soon we
Yeah,
gonna start hearing some other noises, some owly noises.
yeah,
That's time to get out of
and
here.
some coyote and man. Let me tell you something. You let I don't walk around this land without something strapped across my shoulder. Do you understand me? It's something on my hip, because the further you move out away from nowhere, you don't have to just worry about where you building your house at. Okay? You have to worry about, you know, if you
Animals.
smell delicious or not anymore. Now, you go closer to the city.
And really, like, it's, you just got to think about, because if you're used to being in the city, then you probably just go outside, get the mail at night. You don't really think about
Right.
what's crawling around, creeping around. But so that means at night, what, I'm not just up and willy-nilly and going outside, like just walking around my yard. I'm gonna be uh protected
Right. Now,
while I'm walking around my yard. And I'm not just out here staring at the stars. I better be out here doing something super important
and I'm
and not
telling you
just
this,
chilling.
with us, even our home in the city, y'all seen all the animals that we got. You can't even do that there. Now imagine we're out here. Let me tell you, it don't go down. Okay, I might. Can I say it on your video about
I don't know.
um?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna announce
Yeah, we
this
done
here
already had our encounter with
on this
animals.
video. I told y'all about Cowcat on my channel. If don't nobody know about Cowcat, Cowcat is a cat with cow patterns on him, a white cat with cow patterns on him. We just found evidence of uh, mm, mm, mm. Rudy is gone. Rudy is
And
no
the
more.
whole gang is gone.
Tootie, Fruity, and Rudy is gone. So we see feathers, not normal feathers like he just got, clawed. We see the feathers of somebody coughing up feathers, they wet. So
that's the other part. You want animals, you got to protect them too. If your chickens can only free range so much without
without
supervision.
supervision, you are the shepherd. See, you are the shepherd, and you have to watch your flock. Literally, you have to watch your flock. That's the reality of this. You can't just be like everything is gonna be all good. You're not gonna lose animals. You can't act like you won't have predators. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you got to deal with that. And people keep moving out on this land. They're purchasing land, move out on it with all this imaginary cartoon stuff in their head.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Oh, what a kill your cartoon stuff is, go price a well. Go price a
ooh,
septic
is
tank.
Gigi in the house?
Go price. How about this?
Ah,
A home builder. Get a contractor to give you an estimate. Like, for real. Like, that'll get your heads out of the clouds extra fast.
listen to me.
If nothing else does,
Go price,
price those, just those three
price,
things:
price the well,
the tank, the septic tank,
septic,
and the house,
and the house.
for them to build it for
Now,
you.
mind you, we ain't talking about the title search. We're not
Nah,
talking about your earnest
them is
money.
crumbs compared
We're
to
not talking about your
these.
down payment.
No.
Okay, now mind you, we doing this cash. I don't want no debt. So imagine you
No,
have
we're not trying to stress you out, Game Nerd Mom.
game nerd.
We talking to the people that have this like head in the clouds view. of homesteading and not a realistic one. By no means am I saying this is impossible and it's you shouldn't do this.
No, not at
Because
all.
I
As a
mean
matter of
that
fact,
would sound crazy.
as a
I'm
matter of
doing.
fact, Game Nerd Mom, email us, okay? Email
Yeah,
us.
yeah. Email me.
Now here's the
You
other.
got my number. Call
Well, I
me.
was about to say, we T-Town, stay down.
Yeah,
Now here's the thing. Somebody say, do I know what got him? No, because we weren't here.
yeah. We weren't here.
What counts? What counts is this. I know something tore up my bird. I don't give a crap whether it was a bear, a hog, a fox, a coyote. The reality,
Thank you, whole new perspective.
thank
Thank
you,
you
whole
for
new
putting that
perspective.
back in
The
there.
reality of it is there is something out here that eats meat. Something out here has teeth.
Yeah.
Because
And we get all kind of worked up over the big ones like bear.
no,
We get worked up over those, but it's a lot of small ones, foxes, coyotes, or even cats, dogs. I mean, for real, like
cow
don't
cat,
just stress out about, don't let, is it bears? Because bears aren't the only things that,
hogs,
yeah. And I
wild
even heard
hogs,
what armadillos do crazy stuff. Possums.
armadillos.
Possums is the most disgusting. Goddess Leo is with me. I hadn't even read her comment when I was already having a horrible vision
She always
of
talk
a
about that.
possum.
Oh my God.
Possums are horrible. Um, and they eat chickens.
Right.
So it's not just the bears. Now, obviously, we feel like we can protect ourselves from those things a little bit better, but don't assume. I don't know.
Don't
I don't want no
assume.
possum. Possum might reach up, scratch you. That's rabies and all other
The thing,
creepy germs.
the
I don't
thing
know.
is this: you can't come out here with once you've done all the financial work. Now the reality work has to kick in. Okay. You gotta be ready. I don't want people buying land that don't know what the hell they doing and come out here and be like, "What was that scream I just heard?"
Yeah.
I don't want you getting into it like that, and then the point
Yeah.
what you do is turn around and resell your
And in
land.
some cases, it's better to buy maybe just 1 or 2 acres with a house already on it. Just buy a regular house with just a few acres than to try to do too much. Because you got to live in something. In something.
Yes. So I want everybody, listen, I'm gonna say this. Can you and this was a question I saw earlier. Can you purchase land on your own? Absolutely. Absolutely you can. You know what else you can do on your own?
And yeah, you can take your time
Wait
to
a minute.
build.
Wait a minute.
Somebody's comment was about
Oh, you can buy your land on your own. You know what else you can do? You can also go to court by yourself too. Listen to me close. You can buy land and purchase land on your own and all of this stuff by yourself, and you don't know what the hell you're doing or what you're talking about. You don't know the first person to ask, look for, nothing. Even with all the research you think you know. But you can also go to court to defend yourself in a criminal case by yourself too.
And we know better than to do that.
Who the hell is that
Hey,
dumb?
some of us is nurses and we know how to do medical procedures. But
Guess,
I ain't about to be like
hey,
that dude in Alaska taking my finger off.
guess what she do when I'm sick? I'll be like, look, just do me a favor. Go get the medical bag. She be
I'm
like, boy, if you
calling
don't come on.
911.
She be like, boy, if you don't come on and get in this car,
Or
get in
I'm
this car,
calling
I
911
can fix myself.
if you don't cooperate.
And all nurses and doctors and medical professionals start self-diagnosing. Wait, it's a fever. Wait a minute. I'm coughing up blood. Give me a second. She be like, boy, if you don't get your stupid butt in this car and come on,
Man.
ain't no different. You wouldn't defend yourself in a court of law with a criminal case knowing you got time. Listen, knowing that you have time, you're looking at time. You're looking at going to prison. You're looking at
Unless
going to
you
jail.
are a lawyer.
No, no, no. They
And
don't even.
even a
No.
lawyer, I'm just saying,
Even
unless you're a lawyer, you
it's
shouldn't
not
even be
even
beginning to
acceptable
think.
if you are an attorney. You should still have representation, even if you know the law. They're not playing with you. There is, look, if you're looking at, listen to me close. If you're looking at time for representing yourself and getting it wrong, right? It's no different with going in trying to purchase land yourself. Can you purchase it yourself? Absolutely. Can you do it once you know what you're doing? Absolutely. Should you do it? And this is why. Because you don't know each and every loophole that that lawyer was literally trained and went to school for years. You don't know all of the cases that pertains to your case where you can get out of trouble. That lawyer know. No different with a real estate agent.
Hey, Just Dorsha.
You
Hey there.
can do this stuff yourself. Hey,
Oh
just
yeah.
Dorsha, you can. You know, if you know what you're doing, kinda, but at the same time,
And definitely don't buy anything you don't go see personally. And walk on the land yourself. And if you get to, sometimes you'll get to raw land and it's too thick to walk on. You got to ask yourself some serious questions at that point. If it's too thick for me to walk on, am I willing to put my, not just my money that might go to waste because you might find out that this is uninhabitable for some other reason, because if you can't walk the land, you can't tell if it's flooded. All land is not mapped in the FEMA map,
right.
And you won't know that that maybe it's 10 acres and 9 of it is flooded. You won't know that if you can't walk on it.
Right.
You won't know, hey, is this even a place I want to be at? Just that simple. Is this so, how am I gonna cut all these trees down? Like, you cannot cut trees down by yourself. Again, that will kill, you can kill yourself cutting trees. It seems simple.
This. Yes.
It seemed like, I'm just get a saw and just.
Matter of fact, let me speak on the saw thing. Listen, I got 2 chainsaws, bad boys up in there. Hear me? I got 3. Wait, everybody kept saying, why are you planting them pecan trees so close to them magnolia trees? Because they're not magnolia, what is them?
Myrtle.
Crepe myrtle trees. Because I'm cutting them down. The reason you didn't see me cut down these trees in that video, I'm not cutting trees down while I'm out here on the land by my crazy ass self.
Do not.
Don't do it.
We see the people in Alaska cutting their own trees down. They have to do that. They're alone. They made that choice. And they know it's dangerous. Listen, even if the tree don't fall on you, a limb can kill you. It can stab you in a place you don't want to be stabbed in. It can bust you in the head, bust your head open. It's too many different scenarios that you can't think about if you've never.
And a lot of us, we're not going to be wearing the proper protective PPE. We ain't going to be having on no helmets, eye protection, chaps, boots. We ain't gonna be doing it. Gloves. No, we gonna come out here in our pajamas. We just got through eating
some Crocs,
a sausage and egg sandwich,
and some Crocs,
with a chainsaw that barely stay on. And we so busy worrying about the damn chainsaw that's half on, half off. We ain't looking at this branch up here that been hanging for the last 4 years, dead in the doornail, ready to stab you right in your thought pattern. I haven't cut down no trees on this land because I want my wife or my family close. When she here, okay, I can do it. Because if something happens,
if I agree,
if she agree,
that it looks safe, like we can handle that one.
Because we got one tree way far away. I call it a butt crack tree, right? And the butt crack tree gotta go.
The butt crack tree got to be professionally removed.
Listen to me. For me, I can cut the butt crack tree. I think. I think. But the butt crack tree is so complicated that, you know, I'm not a professional logger. I think that one I'm gonna pay for. I could do the rest, but the butt crack tree gotta get handled. And I know everybody is wondering, why is y'all calling it
We're going
the
to show it
butt
to you
crack
one
tree?
day. We'll show it to you.
We're gonna show you the butt crack tree on I'm gonna say on the next video, because I got a lot of stuff to show you.
Yeah.
Okay, and it got this ooze. I'm gonna just leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let it go. But anyway, so if you want to know more about the process to buying property, and on Friday, I'm not just going to be talking about land. I'm actually going to be talking about how to improve. I'm not going to be talking about improving your credit score. We're going to have a professional there talking about how to improve your score. And I'm going to be talking about the home buying process. And of course, you know, land has a similar process. But if you want to be there for that, you need to sign up. The link is in the description. And it starts at 6. If you can't make it live, it's going to be recorded. And if as long as you're registered, you'll get the recording. So I'm going to get out of here because I'm cold. I don't know why it's cold
This
right
temperature
now,
dropped like.
but I'm cold, so I got to get out of here.
I'm
I'm
gonna.
sorry if I missed your questions. Sorry if I didn't get to greet you personally. But I'm so thankful that you decided to come and hang out this evening. I hope something here was helpful. Don't be afraid to buy land, but be informed and get you a professional to
Amen.
work with.
Amen.
All right, it's Lady Led and
Lead Farmer 73, and we love you,
we love you, and we
and
out.
we out.
Good night.
Thank you, you guys.